Awesome question. Up next, we have Coach Bill Hart. Bill, what's your question for John?
Buddy, thank you again for the opportunity. John, it is good to see you again. It's probably been about 20 years, I think, out here in Palm Springs. I have been in the
You looked a lot younger, Bill. You looked a lot younger.
No. John, I look exactly the same, and you look exactly the same, and you sound the same.
Friend.
Goodness gracious, man. So John, since that time, I've been an executive coach of Building Champions, Daniel Harkavy's company.
Oh, yes. He's a great guy.
Years.
Longtime friend.
Right. He says the same about you. And John, I wrote a book. You have an entire shelf back here behind me. But in that book, I interviewed Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, and a Top Gun instructor and looked for the parallels between their worlds and the best of the best in sales and sales leadership. And we talk these days about being on a war footing in business, and there's some similarities for sure, but there's some extreme differences, right? Nobody's getting shot out here. We're not driving over IEDs. But, you know, John, I think about some of these Navy SEAL officers and Army Ranger officers that I know, and they prepare for chaos. They prepare for chaos in crisis. That's how they train. We don't. In the mortgage and the real estate industry, like, we haven't trained for this. And so my question is actually very similar to Casey Cunningham's. Hey, Casey. And it's, how do we help these high performance leaders, some of whom lead very small teams? They're not all everybody you see on this screen here today. Correct. Some of them lead very small teams, and they're stepping into this for the first time. And so, John, I'm just curious, in your experience, how do we protect their hearts and their minds when they're the ones that have to show up every day? But as Casey said, deep down inside, they're hurting. What specific coping mechanisms or direction would you give to them?
Yeah, you know, my mentor, John Wooden, had the statement, you've heard it before yourself, Bill, that when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. Well, it's the same thing with crisis. When crisis comes, it's too late to prepare. And I think that what we miss is the willingness to spend time with those people that you're talking about in reflection. So the question I always ask when anybody goes through adversity, difficulty, is the question I always ask is, what did you learn? Help me out. Okay, it was a bad day. I got it. It was a dark time. What did you learn? Because what I find is, you know, reflection takes experience and it turns it into insight. And so many times we have experiences, Bill, but we don't have insight. You know, so when people tell you experience is the best teacher, you and I know that's not true. It's not true. If experience were the best teacher, everybody as they got older would get better. And I know a lot of people, they're getting older, they're not getting better at all because they're not pulling aside and reflecting and thinking. So one of the things that I'm doing is, like I shared earlier, I've got 7 lessons I've learned so far, is I really work hard on observing, thinking, reflecting, asking questions, and then putting down my thoughts, my feelings, and what I've learned. You know, what did I see? What did I feel? What did I think? And what did I do? And I put those down because what happens is that's the stuff that when you put it into a person's hand that's on that front lines, they immediately connect with that because they say, oh, this is not theory. This is, and basically, you know, you connect with somebody, Bill, when you share something with you and they look at you and you say, that's how I feel. The moment they say that, well, when you do reflection out of experience and put it in a tangible learning environment and share with them, I promise you, you connect with them. And the moment you connect with them, then all of a sudden they say, okay, he understands me. And is there nothing better than being able to look at people and say, I understand? Yeah. Hopefully that helps you.
Oh, so good. Thank you, John.